I've thought for about the last 3 or 4 weeks that I wish the season was just starting. And interesting, as I came down here today to have a notepad, the notepad I picked up was the Whitney Peak Hotel notepad, which is the hotel that we stayed in Nevada. And I wish that we were preparing to begin the season right now. I feel incredibly excited about what our guys have done, how they have done it, the adversity they faced, the resilience that they've shown, the growth that they've shown. And as you may recall, I said there were 3 pivotal factors for this season. One was the health of our players, and of course we got dealt a pretty difficult hand there, as so many teams in the country have been dealt a difficult blow when it comes to injuries. But losing Luke Frampton and Dusan Kovacevic and Nathan Ekwu has never been an easy thing. Second thing I said was the freshmen had to, and the sophomores had to really fast forward their learning curve. And I think that's pretty evident with the contribution that John and Keyshawn and Kellen have made. And the third thing I said was the seniors would have to embrace their role. And I think that Oscar and Will, as a two-headed 5-man, have put up consistent statistics for us that the 5 spot needed. Rusty Regal continues to excel as someone who wears Davidson on his heart. And Peyton Aldrich has embraced the role of our go-to guy as well as anybody could ever do. So that being said, I wish the season was starting today.
Given the way you finished up on the ascending here, how does the carrot of the NCAA tournament factor into your preparation to the tournament?
We've been very disciplined about focusing upon what's in front of us. And our objective for the last 6 weeks has been to be at our best in March. So we're not focusing so much on the NCAA tournament, but we'll go to practice tomorrow, and we went to practice on Sunday, and we went to practice on Monday with a firm conviction that we need to get better. And we're going to work to get better. The players have really taken ownership of that. The coaching staff has really fed that. And I think that's why we are where we are right now, because it's been a journey. And I don't know that I've ever shared with you the theory, the canoe theory. We told our players back in April that we're getting in a canoe, and we all will have a paddle, we'll be in a seat, and we're going to face a lot of rapids and rocks and distractions as we take this journey in this canoe. But we must understand that the canoe is going to go forward if we accept the seat that we're in, and we keep the paddle in the water, and we keep moving forward because everyone is paddling. And that's come to fruition. So now we're facing the end of that journey, and the rapids and the waterfalls are as treacherous as ever and challenging as ever. But as long as our guys keep their paddles in the water and stay seated, we have a chance to move the canoe forward to the journey and the destination that we've aspired to reach.
What have you guys learned in the previous A-10 tournaments?
That we've emptied our gas tank, and it's resulted in some exhilarating wins. But in the process of emptying our gas tank, we emptied ourselves and came up short to VCU in our first year, came up short to Rhode Island last year, came up short, I think it was to VCU the second year as well. So we've played great basketball, but completely had emptied ourselves in the process.
What about Brady? Is he the player he is today? Is he kind of where you thought he would be at this point, or is he
I think the talent level that he's demonstrated is where I believed he would be. The maturity that he has shown as a freshman amidst the success he's had has been incredibly impressive, and has taken me aback a little bit that he's shown that kind of maturity.
Coach, how do you manage that? You talked about the team emptying themselves, and obviously it's win or go home at this point, but how do you sort of manage that with the guys to keep them going and not be drained, so that if you do make a run to the championship game, you still got something left?
Well, I credit our assistant coaches with that, because being young guys with a complete awareness of fatigue and a complete awareness of stamina and what the rigors of a young college basketball player has to endure, they're hands-on and they understand that. So we have cut back our practice significantly in the last month. And in that process, I think we have replenished some of the gas that has been emptied out, knowing that we're going to have to really focus on continuing to replenish it as we go through this coming challenge.
And you said the other night that you think it's going to get to E, but it hasn't. And that's what helped you at the end against Rhode Island.
Exactly, yeah.
Who do you like? What's looking at the tournament? Obviously, Rhode Island, St. Bonaventure also. Is there a team that you think is dangerous that people might be overlooking?
You know, as you've looked at the Atlantic 10 Conference through the year, you've seen teams get better and better. Look at the magical wins that George Mason has had. Look at the way St. Joe's righted the ship and got over 500. Look at the challenges that were given to the top two teams in the conference by other teams in the conference. And you could see that anyone is dangerous. And I really believe that's a result of very, very good coaches, but also a league that has a lot of young players who are just getting better and better.
There's a lot of talk going on about St. Bonaventure and Rhode Island and everybody else. Does that give you and the guys any kind of extra motivation?
It's an interesting dynamic being in the Atlantic 10 rather than the Southern. In the Southern, as a one-bid league, you focus completely on yourself. With the Atlantic 10 being a multiple-bid league, you focus upon the league getting better. And I'm thrilled that St. Bonaventure and Rhode Island have positioned themselves to be NCAA tournament, get NCAA tournament berths, whether it's through the championship or through an at-large process. But that just makes our league better.
Coach, how much does getting that double bye and not having to play until the quarterfinals, especially this point of the year where you're saying the guys are giving all they got, how much does that help? It's
incredibly valuable that we have the first 2 nights off, that we don't have to deal with the first game we play and being the third game that we play. So it's a very, very fortunate opportunity for us to have that double bye.
Did you learn anything new about your team in the last few weeks after that tough triple overtime loss, being able to come back and play like they did and finish out the season against Rhode Island?
The toughness to not give up, the toughness to keep fighting, the toughness to handle adversity. We showed that numerous times at St. Bonaventure, and I think the way we came back against Rhode Island really validated that even more.
Following up on that, you mentioned that you wish that the season had started. We're starting now. Earlier in the season, could this team have bounced back from a tough loss like St. Bonaventure and gotten a big win like that?
I really believe we could have bounced back against Nevada. I really believe we could have bounced back against New Mexico State, against Hawaii, against Appalachian State, against Virginia. The lessons that we learned as we went through the season would have been very applicable to numerous games that we played back in November and December. And I think it's really interesting that Nevada, I think they're 22 in the country or something. New Mexico State getting votes for top 25, St. Bonaventure getting votes for top 25, Rhode Island top 25, North Carolina top 25, Virginia top 25. We didn't play chopped liver. We played some very good teams. And there's, there's the RPI out there, but there's some other site that factors in many more components to your schedule. Ken Palm. And my assistants tell me this. I don't know, but we have a pretty good number there or something. And when you think about it, you think about the fact that we played Nevada, so we traveled across the country, we played a road game, then we traveled back, and the next day we drove up to Boone, playing in 3,500 seats, 3,500 feet sea level, above sea level, and those are challenges that are extraordinary. We go to Hawaii, and New Mexico State, Hawaii didn't have nearly the same travel that we had. We played a 7 o'clock game on Christmas morning, then we come back across the country and we play Richmond on New Year's Eve. There are a lot of factors in our schedule that challenged us and pushed us, and that goes back to the canoe theory. If you're going to see all kinds of obstacles on your journey, how you navigate through those obstacles will determine where you position the canoe as you're getting towards your destination.
Do you get a sense from Peyton at all? I mean, he's so low-key and always talks, when I've talked to him, next game, next practice is all I'm worried about, that he's got a sense that he doesn't want this to be it this weekend and continue.
It's interesting you say that, because I never saw as demonstrative face, voice, animation from Peyton as I saw when he fouled out of the St. Bonaventure game. He fouled out, and he brought that team together, and he was very pronounced in the directions that he gave that team in that brief huddle that they had as we were making a substitution. That's a Peyton that was not there early in the season, and of course not there for the first 3 years here. As you say, he is a very quiet leader, but he was very pronounced, and I think that's a revelation to me that's incredibly enjoyable, but also what you said, it's like he doesn't want this to end.
Do you think that was because he thought, okay, I can't contribute out there in between the lines, but I've got to figure out a way to do something for the team?
I think it was a determination upon his part that he didn't want to see us lose. However he could contribute to that, I don't think that factored into it as much as just his will to win.